Let's talk about success, baby. Let's talk about you and me. I just had to start with a little bit of fun, my friends, because it is amazing when you start doing business with the right people, how you light up. And this is what I'm so passionate about because our careers fund our lifestyles. So I was feeling so frustrated, right? It was this YouTube channel and shift happens. It was result of a giant shift happening in my life and a diagnosis with a high growth aggressive form of cancer that led me to have to stay home and quarantine myself in preparation for surgery at a time right after a layoff. And I wanted to say farewell. So I thought, what better way for the head of learning and leadership to say farewell than to deliver a training? And then it became a fast way for me to share what was happening and to keep people updated on my cancer journey. However, I was like, I don't want to talk about cancer forever. Thank you, Lord, please. Although it is inspiring to so many people. I've heard so many of you reach out and just share, wow, I can't believe if this is how you handle cancer, how do you handle the good times? Woo! And I started to realize after making this big dream come true for my daughter and putting a horse in the yard, moving to acreage and enduring some real estate challenges last year, and recognizing that I could be a top earner and I can change the trajectory of my family's life. And learning that led me to feel compelled to share. I've spent my lifetime studying these things. And so they've served me incredibly well. So I'm really excited to announce a shift happening with this channel. As I've met with people to help me advance the business, I've done a lot of thinking about what is it that I really want to say? Who do I really want to serve? I want to serve the disruptors, the people who are dissatisfied with the way that this world is, the people who say, yes, we can do better. Yes, I have designed the majority of my life with great intention. I started doing that my sophomore year of high school. That's why I say majority. Ever since my sophomore year of high school, I had a really cute hot pink binder and I started strategically planning my life. And I am a mathematician. Those of you who know me, you know that I'm very science-minded. I like data. I want to know that what I'm doing has some effect that's positive. And so I take the normal distribution curve and I say, here's what most are doing. I'm going to choose the right. What are those people doing? They operate from a different playbook. So I'm excited. I was looking at words that describe this because I'm getting ready to launch a Power Word workshop and I hope you'll join me there. And I initially had from bothered to breakthrough because that's what I feel like is happening. I was really bothered by where is this going? What is the purpose? What is the meaning? What is the best way to serve people? And then I thought, really, it was more like I Googled a list of words that start with B because I liked breakthrough. And then I found the word brave and I was like, yeah, it's like a brave breakthrough because I've had to be brave and put myself out there in ways that are uncomfortable. I've had to be brave to say, I know that this is important. I just don't see how yet. And I hope this story reaches you because I know a lot of you have brilliance within. Every one of us has it. Some of us have learned how to reveal it and others haven't. So if you haven't yet, stick with me. I'm going to share some really great strategies with you today. As you can see, I'm queued up and ready. So I found the words brainy and banging on that list. And I thought, yes, it's been like I'm too brainy and I'm banging my head against a wall trying to figure this out. So is it perfect and polished yet? No. But I want to hear what you have to say. So each of my channel from now on, we're going to start out with some shout outs. So today's shout out goes to Donna. As I track and map what's happening and the questions that are being asked, I now have 3. So I've got a few different days of things that I'm going to train on specific to questions you're asking me. So Donna is this incredible champion who had reached out and said, I really want to support you and Gigi right now during this tough time. What can I do? I'm 130 miles away. So could I buy you guys dinner and have it delivered? And it was the greatest act of kindness. I haven't seen her in person, I don't think since like 2018, 2019, definitely pre-2020. And it was so sweet. Not only did she find healthy food, she even had the Grubhub guy deliver us a special message. It was beyond words. And so we've been inspiring each other and checking in. And that's what it's all about, my friends, is community. That's why I created Warrior Women's Society, for us to come together Wednesdays at lunch and revamp the second half of the week, right? Finishing strong is important. So she had a big presentation this week. She had international travel, big sales presentation. And again, that's at the edge of your comfort zone, discovering new facets of yourself. This is what lights me up. So she said, I just watched your YouTube. So awesome. Just thankful for you and proud of you. I channeled my 3 words today. So I encouraged her with an activity. And she said, confident, energized, knowledgeable. It was great to be in front of a room of salespeople for an hour. Haven't been in a setting like that since pre-COVID, and have the room engaged and asking questions. Thank you for the fire you've lit inside of me this new year. You're a blessing. And I asked her if I could share that, because you need to know I'm not the only crazy person. You can join the crazy train too. So very excited. Donna, I celebrate you. And I hope that you make it back home to the United States safely. So there's been several conversations that inspired this training, but Donna, I wanted to celebrate because she's very risk-taking, great heart, amazing human. So I was talking to I've talked to a lot of people in the last 2 weeks, and they all say things to me like, when I ask, how are you? I'm fine. It's crazy. I'm good. Still crazy, different kind of crazy, as they talk about career change and shifts. And I thought, well, it's really interesting how we form a narrative about our lives. And I want to invite you to geek out with me for a minute. For those of you who are really geeky, you're going to love this part. You're going to want to grab a notepad. For those of you who are a little less geeky and like the fun, Dr. J, hang in there, it's coming. So Daniel Kahneman won the Nobel Prize in economic science for applying psychology insights to economic theory, specific to judgment and decision-making under uncertainty. And he found 2 systems of thought: fast thinking, which is fast, automatic, frequent, emotional, stereotypic, and unconscious. It's our immediate reaction, right? It's the kind of lose your shit type of thinking. So if I asked you, how are you? You'd likely respond with a fast thinking response, right? I'm doing okay. I talk to people about success. That's what high performance is all about. Yet we define success using the definition, which is consistently outperforming the norm while maintaining your health and well-being and quality relationships. That's what got me hooked on this research, because I was a peak performer. Scale the peak, sacrifice everything, plummet to the valley and recover, scale the next peak. That's exhausting, my friends. Let me tell you, there's a better way. So this is a behavior over time graph. And so the x-axis represents time. We're talking about adulting, right? Post-graduation, whether that was your high school graduation, college graduation, whatever graduation, the moment when you started adulting. What does success look like? Most have a success graph that looks kind of like this, and they say things like, I'm good. Watch this. What if I invited you to think slowly, as Daniel Kahneman would call it, in a slow, effortful, less frequent, this one occurs less often because it has to be very intentional, logical, calculating, conscious. If I gave you the whole picture of the great 8 dimensions of life and then said, how are you really? That's when people start to recognize I'm stuck with the status quo. This success graph, same graph, doesn't look quite as good, right? It's almost like you're walking around with blinders on. I'm good, it's okay, I'm good, it's okay. And you take them off and you recognize there is a whole wide world waiting for you, right? And then my challenge to myself has always been, the status quo drives me bonkers. I can't stand being told we do it this way because we've always done it this way. I also grew very frustrated Monday, led myself into exhaustion after meeting with my oncologist and learning everybody gets radiation. I was like, everybody? Our bodies are so brilliant and so unique, and I'm not like everybody. I'm willing to put in the hard work. I'm willing to say food is addictive by design, and I will not fall victim to that addiction. I will be disciplined and practice discernment. You're not dealing with your average patient here. So I don't want average treatment. I want to be extraordinary. I've chosen that throughout my life, and my graph has led me to a different place. Notice if you look early in that graph, the difference isn't big, right? In our late teens, early 20s, the difference between a high performer and those who are choosing the status quo isn't discernible. By your late 20s, early 30s, early 40s, now you're hitting the middle to the latter parts of that graph that you see there. And it is like, oh, wow, there's a big difference between where I'm at and where you're at. I've heard that story a lot from people over the past couple of weeks of like, wow, You're so humble. You're so kind. I thought we were a lot alike until I watched you go through cancer, until I watched you as a single mother on a solo income go and buy an amazing asset and change the trajectory of your daughter's life. Whoa, I'm waking up to realize. So I'm looking at my story and the influence that I'm having on others. And I'm recognizing something that I was crazy enough to believe all along is true. We are all brilliant, and that brilliance inspires those around us. And that's why we've got to pull off the mask of masculinity or that facade of femininity that we put on every day, thinking that's who we have to be for the world. Yet when we're authentic and real, in my cancer journey, when I get to cry on camera and say, I'm a hot mess, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing with this channel. I don't know what I'm doing with my treatment plan. Holy moly, what's going on, right? That we can be real and we can support each other. And I've also read literally 6 books this week. Like, you have to be learning, my friends. If you don't like to read, that's what I do. I'm happy to geek out for you and share this information with you. That's why I've created programs for you to learn, for you to gather in community, and for you to be coached. I would not be where I'm at today if I had not had coaching. I think I got my first coach, like a formal coach that I paid quite a bit of money for. Like as a teacher, you get coaching as part of your teaching. So I've had a coach my entire professional career, truth be told. But I started paying big money for a coach to change this trajectory of my own life. I knew it was worth it. And I'm here to tell you, you are worth it. If no one has told you that yet, know that you're worth it. My first paid coach, 5 figures, started about 10 years ago. And it has been worth every penny. I just got my W-2 and was like, I never thought I would see this. I would have to work over 10 years as an educator to earn that kind of money. And so the funny thing is, at these moments where you see the graph kind of start, the first kind of little dip before it trajects upward, in that moment for me, that moment, I was afraid to leave education because I didn't want to lose my para pension. I look back now and go, oh my gosh, like I've made para every year over the past 6 years as a bonus. So don't let yourself be held back. Quit telling yourself it has to be this way, or I have to wait this long, or it's just crazy again. When are you going to wake up? Right? For me, I've lived a very awakened life because I love strategically planning my life and I love growth. And so if you don't have a process for that, I would love to share with you. This is the question of, is it worth it? Right? And I'm just realizing I didn't quite get to finish this graph. So the big thing for me was quality time with my daughter. I recognized that the ones I love the most are getting the worst of me at the end of the day. I was coming home so exhausted from work. And now I've changed that trajectory. My daughter is center stage. She's my number one. Presence has had a very similar graph. I would be present and then not very present. I'm working, hang on, sweetheart, right? I'm distracted with my cell phone, responding to email, that high stakes kind of contention. So presence for me oscillates, yet I'm becoming better at moving that up and to the right. Joy, a huge one. Oh, I did do presence. See, it's okay. This is not a formal training. I just wanted to have some visuals to accompany what I'm saying, because you got to be able to see it, right? The reason that you don't remember podcasts and that you listen to things and go, I think I'm learning, but you're not doing anything differently, it's because you're not actually learning. You're just throwing in inputs, right? And then you're not translating that to action. So I wanted to have some visuals to accompany the story today as we get into greater depth with this channel. So the beauty was also tracking my income graph year over year, right? You'll notice it was very, very slowly growing. That was education and government and politics. And then learning how to really navigate. When I started to put the same strategy I used in my life planning into career, a lot of us go, I want a new job. I'm not happy. I'm going to go search Indeed and LinkedIn. No. Let me share with you my Excel spreadsheet of how to look for a job. And it's called the decision-making matrix. And we weight criteria. I have helped so many people get jobs that's where I realized when I looked at what is this all about? It's about leadership, empowering leaders, number one, because that's how we change the world. And that doesn't mean you have to have direct reports. It just means you have to own the identity of a leader. You have to know that you matter and that you're influencing people. It might be that you're cooking dinner tonight and you're the one orchestrating that. It might be that you have children and you are role modeling the way for them, whether you're aware of it or not. It might be that you lead people, or that you're leading an initiative, or that you're volunteering in your community. Leadership looks a lot of different ways, but people, they all have one common attribute, is that they know that their actions are making a difference in the world. So leadership. Then I realized it's actually so much more than career and leadership. It's really about life. A lot of the people that I've held hearts with over the past 2 weeks, we eventually get to a place where there's a breakdown and something happening in their life. That's why I realized this is really all about the power to pivot and being empowered to pivot. So a lot of times we think the reason we get to good and we think good's good enough is because we're doing the things we know how to do. Yet what really happened is life went on and we started bringing our Pee-wee playbook to the pros, and the same tools that got you there won't get you here, right? It's why I'm having to hire right now, why I'm needing to up level to my next coach, to my next level of business success, because I know that I'm limited by the playbook I'm operating from, right? The pros have multiple plays. They have more strategies, right? And so when I talk to you about high performance, I'm trying to introduce you to the pro playbook. Success leaves clues. You can reverse engineer. That's what I've been studying over the past 20 years. What do those whose graph looks like way up and to the right? How does that differ from those who say they're successful, right? Yet they're really feeling caged or comfortable in their lives. And so my goal, my friends, is to help you feel fully charged. So people have asked, how do I get to work with you? The first one is Power Word Workshop. That's coming up next week. We have one on Monday during the day. I had a lot of people say, but I'm working. So we're offering a second one on Thursday night. Power Word Workshop, easiest, least expensive way to work with me other than watch YouTube, right? I am trying to learn how to monetize this channel. So the more you watch and the more likes I get, the better off I am as a solo earner trying to support my daughter. So I would love it if you could like, subscribe, share, all those things. Yet that's truly in my heart, not what it's about. If you feel this message helps someone or can bring someone into a realization that there is a better opportunity out there for you and they need the courage and they need some support, tune them into this channel because that's what it's going to be about. We're going to be talking about pivot points in life, where we're human and we're high performing. We're aiming for bigger ambitions in our lives. So if you know someone like that, I would love to learn alongside them together. Then there's Warrior Women's Society. We meet Wednesdays starting next week on the 15th from 12 to 1. That's a monthly subscription, $97 a month. You get 4 full hours of training. And most importantly, a loving, caring community. We need each other to get through this. And then the last opportunity is courses and coaching. So Life Design Lab is going to be the Empowered Pivot. It's getting a little refresh look and some new materials that are a little more adjacent to transitions, as that's what I've heard people need help with. So there's that course that you can just buy and direct yourself through it. And then coaching. That's my favorite part because we work together one-on-one. So if any of those journeys serve you at this moment in time, I would love to hear from you. And I hope that you have had a little bit of disruption in your mind of thinking, yeah, I'm okay, but are you really? Are you really okay? Or are you living fully charged, fired up with joy? Tomorrow, we're going to talk about 3 lives of career professionals. So there's 3 lives that describe the human condition: caged, comfortable, and charged. We're going to talk about 3 different career paths that people take. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow. In the meantime, go out and shine your love and light into the world, my friends. I'll be cheering for your success. I love hearing from you. So please keep the texts and messages coming. I read through every comment. I'm early enough in this journey that I can do that. So take advantage. Let's learn together and uplift one another. It is through that shared vision and revealing our brilliance and acting with courage in this world that we do change the world, one relationship at a time, one interaction at a time. And overall, that does have a ripple effect. So go out and reveal your brilliance today.